I'm not going to put the problem on the board yet because you'll all quit when you see the problem. But I'm going to put an easy problem on the board, and we're going to go from there, okay? Let's go with e to the negative 2x. Now, before you start, you might want to write it out like it's supposed to be written out because it might help. F of x is equal to, okay, or y is equal to e to the 2x. I'm sorry, negative 2x. I know I'll get called down by Miss Bowers if I leave that negative off. All right, she's a pretty good catcher of mistakes. Now, what I'm wanting to find is dy dx. Now, that's the way I do not like to write it, but it helps because I can say dy dx is equal to dy dy dx, I'm sorry, hold on. Let me rewrite that. Take the derivative of, let me just do this. Take the derivative of e to the u. Make this equal to u. It's called substitution. So I go out here and I say u is equal to negative 2x. So now we have dy is equal to e to the what? U. Okay. Now take dy, take the derivative of y with respect to u, and then take the derivative of u with respect to x. Okay, so here you're going to take the derivative of y in respect to u, and here you're going to take the derivative of u with respect to y. Now this is going to help you in just a few minutes because it's going to help in this problem, especially with e, when you have to find dg, dt or something like that. Mm-hmm. Well, you've already got it. You just got to multiply them together. The two derivatives, that's what you're doing. So what's the derivative of e to the u? E to the u. E to the u. Okay? I showed you that the other day. If you don't remember it, you're a loser. Okay? E to the x is e to the x. E to the u is e to the u. And I'll help you. I'll do this one for you. Negative 2. Huh? I know. I know. I do the hard ones for you. Now, the good thing about this, and this is the mathematical way of explaining it. I don't usually do that, but you take du, dy, du, and multiply it by du dx, and what happens to the du's?
Wait, hold up.
Hold on, I'm fixing to write it. Hold on just a second. We've got dy du right here, right? Yeah. Dy du. And we've got du dx right here. If we multiply those two together, what happens to the du's? And what are you left with? Dy dx, which you are looking for. Dy dx right here. Which that's what that is. Dy dx is y prime. Okay? So all you got to do is multiply this guy times this guy and put your u back in. So that will give you, the final answer is negative 2 e to the negative what? 2x. Now why did I show you this? I showed you this for two reasons. One is it's a fallback. Anytime you get the derivative of e to the whatever, you're going to use the chain rule. This is, in essence, the chain rule. What's inside? Tell me what's inside. The negative 2x is what's inside. How was those pancakes? I'm just kidding.
What's dx equal to?
What do you mean?
What is dx equal to?
Dx. What do you mean?
Okay, so you're taking the derivative of y.
With respect to u. And the derivative of u in respect to x. Don't worry about that.
But you're taking e to the negative 2x and putting that over du, which, right?
No, I'm taking, here I'm doing substitution. I'm saying, okay, what's the complicated part? The complicated part here is the negative 2x. So I pull it out and I say, I'm just going to make u equal to 2x. And therefore I have e to the u. That's what I did.
Okay, so what is dx equal to? Because you have to put du over dx. What does dx represent?
That's the derivative. I'm taking the derivative of this guy in respect to x. So I did right here. That's what I did. This right here says I'm taking the derivative of the u term in respect to what? X. That's what this says. Dx is not a number or anything. This is a notation. This is just like y. So if I give you e to the negative x, you can actually just take the coefficient and do what? Pull it out front. That's all you have to do. So this would be negative 1 e to the negative 1x. See? And that 1, now I'll show you the relationship. There's the negative. There's the negative. There's the negative. There's the negative. There's your relationship right there. Okay? So maybe that helps you with e to the exponent now, because you're going to need it in this next problem that we're going to do.
Where did negative 1 equal from? Because e is not
right here.
Yeah, but why did you, that's in the exponent.
I'm showing you the relationship. In other words, you can do it like this, the long way, okay? Or you can just say, okay, what's the derivative of negative 1x? Negative 1. Pull that out front, and e to the negative 1x. I'm showing you the relationship.
So we just don't have to mess with the e, really?
No, you don't. And that's what I'm showing you right here. Here and here. Here I'm showing you the long way to do it. Here I'm showing you the short way to do it. Just take the negative coefficient, or whatever the coefficient is. What's e to the 2x? 2e to the 2x. You just bring that coefficient out. Okay? All right, now the problem that Ms. Hildebrand sent in. I'm not writing it. So we're going to go up, pull it up. 2.4.
No, 3.4.
I'm sorry, 3.4.
3.3.
Whatever. Whatever you say. One of those things. There it is. Okay, if you hadn't done your homework yet, you're a loser, but go ahead and write this one down. You don't have to write down all the sentences, but just write down the formulas. And I'm going to snip it out so I don't have to write it again. Okay, I'm fixing to switch, so I don't need anybody hammy. Just hold on a few seconds, okay? What happened to it? Oh, ain't that what y'all do? Now, when you see a problem like this, I'm going to change it, okay? Because whenever you spaz out, what's the first thing a doctor's going to tell you to do if you're spazzing out or having an anxiety attack? We're pansies and we're addicted to drugs. Breathe, calm yourself down. Try to calm, okay? So when you see this problem, the first thing half of you going to do is bump this. I'm going to go to the next problem. Some of you will, all right? Now to overcome that, rewrite it. And let's just rewrite it and say P of T is equal to 10 times 1 plus 12 e to the second power raised to the fourth power. And then G of P is equal to 2p minus 1p to the what? Is that third?
Yeah.
Third. Now let me reiterate. I just made this up. Okay? I just made this up. I just made this up. Where did that come from? Okay? All right. Now, I want you to just forget about this problem over here right now. And I want you to focus on this problem. This one that I made up. And I want you to plug and chug. What does it say? 3? Oh, this one, mine was 3. So, of course, it changed it on me. We're going to do 3, 2013. Okay? Because that's what I did my problem, and I don't want to make any careless mistakes because Miss Bowers will find them. Yeah, there we go. All right, so 2013. Now, I want you to plug in 3 into these because that's what these two are asking. So, put out in your notes, the first two are plug and chug. And a lot of people just need to know how to use their calculator. So go ahead and plug in 3 for these two problems right here. Isn't there variables supposed to be here? T. Okay, Miss Bowers, that's 2. You're cutting it close. Just plug and chug. And get warmed up on your calculator. And then take the derivative of both. And like I say, don't worry about the problem because all we're going to do is switch it over. And with all these whole numbers, we're going to do it. All we're going to do is switch it over. How do you take the derivative of this guy? Chain rule. How do you know that? Well, you got a coefficient in the front, and you got BA something in the middle to an exponent. Usually when you got a coefficient, parentheses, and an exponent, most of the time with the derivative, you're going to be taking the... Now, could you do the product rule? Yeah, you could. 10 first times the derivative of the second plus the second times the derivative of the first. You could do it that way, but that's just extra work. So to answer your question, Ms. Hildebrand, how do you know when? Usually when you see this right here with parentheses and there's a coefficient out front. Well, it doesn't have to be a coefficient because what's out there if it's a 1? Nothing. But this right here, the parentheses and this, that's the key. That'll tell you this chain rule. Right here. So when you see one like that, that's the chain rule. So go ahead and take P prime of T or P of T, yeah, P prime of T, whatever.
So wait, which way do you know? I mean, how do you know how to use the chain rule? What's in the parentheses?
It looks right here, the parentheses and then the exponent. Because most of the time, if you have parentheses, that means there's going to be more than one term. And that means that you have to use the chain rule. Now this don't need the chain rule, just do it by term by term. Now I'm going to go ahead and take the first one, P prime of T. I'm also going to rewrite it. Yeah, dp dt. I'm going to take the derivative. No. Yeah. dp dt. And that's going to be equal to, here we go, 4 comes out front, times 10, times what that comes down, which is a mess, 12e to the 2t. I gotta get up. I can't take this. What's 4 minus 1?
3.
And then what's the derivative of what's inside? Well, the derivative of what's inside, I'll do 1 for you. 0. What about this? Well, I just showed you how to do this. 24e to the 2t. Good. Now, what can you do with this and this? You can take that 4 times that 10, that's 40. 40 times 240 is, what, 8 something, 820 or something? I don't know. But anyway, just you do what you want to do there. Okay? Now, you don't have to do this. But what I'm saying is take the numbers over here. And basically, all you have to do is re-substitute them in over here where I substitute in right there. Or you could say 130, 1 plus, and take that 130, you know it's going to be multiplied by that negative 1, that's going to be negative 130. You see what I'm saying? It's real easy.
24. 12 times 2 is 24. Where did you get 24 out of 1 plus 12?
What's the derivative of what's inside right here? Well, you don't like derivatives, you can always drop me a sociology major.
What's 2 times 12?
If math,
Plus 1. 1 plus that is 25. Why isn't it 25?
what's the derivative of 0? I meant 1.
0. Oh.
That's okay. You're learning. Derivatives are new to people, so don't worry about it. You getting it?
Yeah.
Okay, quit. All right, 2 times 12 is 24, e to the 2t. Now, take those and you can take the derivative of this guy now. Now let's do this one, g of p. Well, g of p is going to be dg, g prime of p. It's going to be dg, which is your first right here. Take the derivative of g in respects to p. And that's going to be, I'm going to take my derivative here. That's 2 minus 3p what? Squared. Now, go over here and take your derivative of this guy. Doing it just like this. Took the derivative of that 2p. The derivative of 2p is 2.
Did you end up doing anything with the 4 times 10?
No, I told y'all could do that. 4 times 10 is 40 times 24. Okay. Bring that e to the 2t out.
We just plug in the calculator. So, finish product of that.
Yeah, in other words, now this is A, this is B, plug and chug. this is C, this is D, and E, as I showed you before, they want the composition function, which is dt, over dt times dg over dp. And what happens to the dp's? And you're left with the derivative of g in respect to t, which they're going to ask for that. So I multiply these two together. So E would be taking this equation and this equation and putting them together, and that's this right here. Now, I'm not going to do it with this one because this one is a made-up problem, but we're going to do it with the original problem here in just a second.
So wait, for E, it's dp over dt, not dt.
That's this right here.
Yeah, but the question is dg over dt.
Yes, which that's how you get dg over dp. I'm showing you that you multiply these two together.
You know a good tutor? For real though.
Y'all know that's an insult to a teacher when you ask for a tutor. You know that, don't you?
I just suck at this.
No.
I think it's your-
How many times have you watched the videos after class? Honestly.
A couple times.
Well, I must be doing something wrong then, because I'm trying to explain it, you know, separated and everything. Just keep on looking. I guess you could go to the help center. Where's the help center? Third floor? It's still on third floor? Huh?
We're in town, so we have our own.
Oh, y'all have y'all's own thing now. Okay. Where is it?
It's Pickens Hall.
Pickens Hall. What room, do you know?
Right next,
Right next. Okay, across from the bookstore. That's where I would suggest starting if you need extra help. Okay. Now, let's do this. Let's do this one. And I'm going to add a page and bring it back in. Let's see, where is it? There it is. That might be the blind leading the blind. I don't know who said it. I'm just kidding. Listen, I kid. I don't hold no grudges, okay? As Rocky says, I love almost everybody. Of course, y'all have no idea what I'm talking about, Rocky, because y'all don't watch movies. You only watch Transformers and stupid movies. What? I didn't hear you.
Withdrawing.
What'd you say?
I said withdrawing.
Okay.
I took my comment back.
Oh. Somebody tell me what he said.
What's wrong with transforming?
What'd you say?
What's wrong with transforming?
Nothing. I just think it's. No, I just.
Sounds like everything. Nothing's wrong with everything.
I've watched Under the Moon or Other Side of the Moon, and I watched the first one, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I just don't like it. I do like the 4 Avengers. I like them. Yeah. There's only 4 Avengers in my opinion. The other 2 are idiots. I don't know what they're even doing on there. I can't get into the Fantastic Four. And I can't get into X-Men either. So I guess it's going to be Avengers for me, the 4. Well, now there's Spider-Man and... Yeah, I like Spider-Man. I didn't like Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. I liked the CFO of Facebook Spider-Man. I like him, whatever his name is. On Social Network, he was Eduardo.
Yeah,
Some people don't know what I'm talking about because they've never seen Social Network. All right. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take and break the pen. Oh God, that's all I do need. That means it's going to take 6 weeks to fix the pen. Really?
Are these pins like?
We're supposed to have 2 pens, but somebody stole it. Does anybody know anybody in the other calculus class? The other 130? Where are they right now? No, where are they as far as material?
Oh, I have no idea. We don't talk about math on each other.
Jackie?
I think we're really ahead.
They're ahead?
No, we are.
I'm fixing to say. All right. P of t is equal to 130 times 1 plus 12. God, this is a pain. E to the negative 0.02t round, what does that say? Negative 1? Negative 1. G of p is equal to 2p minus 0.001 p to the third. And this one right here, this sentence, and this is supposed to be 2013 because that's what I did my notes by. Evaluate. Evaluate means plug and chug. That's what that means. All of the following at P is equal, or P, let's see, T is equal to what? Well, right here it says where T is the number of years since 2010. So that means T is equal to what?
3.
So that means that this,
Gmail has
take
just
that out
arrived.
and put P of 3, G of 3, and this right here is P prime of 3, and this right here is G prime of 3, and this right here is basically P composed of G of 3. Okay, but we're not going to do that. We're just going to put them together. We're just going to say dG dt of 3. So basically, they want everything plugged in at 3. All right? So the first one, A, is going to be P of 3 is equal to 130 times 1 plus 12 e to the negative 0.02 times 3 is what? 0.06 raised to the negative 1 power. Now, I want everybody in here to take your calculator and do that. And if you have a Android phone, you can go to Wabbit, go to Play Store and go to Wabbit EMU, Wabbit EMU. Let me look. Hold on. Wabbit, like Elmer Fudd Wabbit.
Oh, okay.
Let me find it. Hold on. Somewhere I got it. Wabbit EMU. And you can download, EMU, Wabbit EMU. And you can download a TI-83 or whatever. You'll always have it with you. Now, when you do that, I got a BA number, loan-wise, 10.56809665. So check your number and see if you get 11. That's basically what it is, 11. That means the population is 11, blah, 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 whatever, however millions or whatever. And go ahead, and if you got 11 or 10.568, If you've got that, then move to the next one, which is G of 3, and punch that in. And that's going to be 10.568 ... Now, what does the 3 dots mean? That means it keeps on going. Now, you won't help punching that in. Let me get my handy dandy calculator out. Go away, go away, go away. There we go. Let's take our handy dandy calculator and we'll move it over to the side here.
So wait, if I don't understand how if t equals 3, then all of a sudden in question B, p equals 3. Why is t equal to p?
Okay, I'm getting there. Hold on. All right. Where is my? Did I not? Okay, I'm trying to find my. Okay, somewhere there it is. Okay, let me move this. All right, what was your question again? No, that's not it.
Is all this writing on your screen?
Did I just lose it?
What are you talking about? It's on the board.
It was?
That's the right thing.
I know, but I thought I wrote everything down.
It is up there.
Oh
You
no,
probably-
it's not working. So y'all just gonna get my voice today. Anyway,
So t equals 3.
right here,
Yep.
it says right here, t is equal to 3. I changed it. Yes.
Because 2013 from
Yes,
2013.
2013.
Why?
So all these you're gonna plug in 3 into the formula.
But why did you
No,
plug in
for
3
G-
for p?
For B, for G of P, you'd be plugging in your answer for A. Because P, whatever.
Oh yeah. I'm sorry. You're right. Yes, you're right. On G of P, you're gonna plug in this answer. I'm sorry. P is equal. Miss Bowers, you didn't catch me on that. You're gonna plug that into G. I'm sorry. My mistake. All right.
So you plug in 10.563.
Now, how you do that is real simple. I was going to show y'all that until I lost everything on this computer. Now I have to do it manually. Okay, hold on. I'm trying to think how to do this. It's not going to let me do it. I'll have to pull this over here. If I can't see because it's so small, that's why. So I'm going to take E, second function, E, and I'm going to raise it to the negative 0.06, right? That's what it came out to be, if I help me.
Yeah.
All right, and then I'm going to multiply that by what, 12?
Yep.
Multiply that by 12 and add it to what? Add it to 1. And then raise that to the what? Negative 1 power. And then multiply that by 130. Not add it, dork. Multiply by 130. And there's my 5 point. Now, what am I going to do with that number? I'm going to punch it in here and I'm going to say alpha stow, where you buy bread. Alpha, and we're going to call it what? P, Hubert. That's right, class. Not K. Where's P?
What did you get? Oh, because it is 12.
Alpha P. There.
Are their answers different on the board?
What?
The answers in the key, those are different?
Yeah, this is a different year.
Yeah, it's a different year. Yeah, don't look at these. These are different years. All right, now we're going to take 2 times alpha P minus parentheses 0.001 times, I'm trying to strain to see this, P, alpha P, to the what? Third power?
Yeah.
And close and multiply. I got 19.99589,895. So how many garbage trucks do you need? 20. For 11 million people, or however how many people there are. Okay? Okay? 11,000, 11 million, whatever. Now, C asks you, and this is where you get into the calculus. C asks you, I don't need a calculator for this. C asks you, B is equal to 2 times 10.568 ... minus 0.001 10.568 ... to the third power, and that gives you 19.95. Is that what it gives us? ... All right, C. We're going to take the derivative of both of them, C and D. So C is going to be this -1 pulled out to the front, -1 times 130 times, bring this down, 1 plus 12e to the -0.02t, and then what's -1 minus 1?
So you're pulling the derivative from p to the t?
I know what I did
Yeah.
wrong.
Why? Because there's no p to the t on the question.
No, it's asking for C, you're taking the derivative of that P to the T. dP over dt is the derivative of A.
Now I'm working. I didn't turn on the stupid little thing down there. It's Bush's fault. P prime of t is equal to 130 and -1 times 1 plus 12e to the -0.02t to the negative what?
2.
-1. I'm going to go ahead and put a -1 there because I'm subtracting
A Gmail
1.
has just arrived.
And I'm going to take my highlighter. Take my highlighter here, and that 1 is our basic derivative rule. But the chain rule says that if I have this, I've got to take the derivative of what? What's inside. So what's inside, I'll do with the yellow highlighter. We've got to take the derivative of this guy right here. So that means we've got to do right here the derivative of what's inside. Well, the derivative of 1 is what? 0. So I'm going to put that there. Plus, and now I got to do my rule that -0.02 is multiplied by that 12. -0.02 times 12. I'm running out of room. E to the -0.02t. And I'll fix that. Let me move it.
0.02 times 12.
Hold on. Trying to move everything over. The derivative of what's inside is 0 plus -0.02 times 12 e to the -0.02t. And the derivative of what's inside, I'll kind of just do this too. I took the derivative of what's inside. And that's going to give us P prime of t is equal to negative 130 times 1 plus 12e to the negative 0.02t to the negative second power times, well, 0.02 times is 0.24. Somebody help me out.
It's negative 0.24.
Yeah, negative 0.24. Wife mode. All right, e to the negative 0.02t that way. Now, could you pull this negative 0.24 and put it over here? Yes. Might as well pull the whole thing because you can't do anything else. So if you want a simplified version, p prime of t is equal to
31.0.
I'm sorry, what?
31.0.
Thank you. 31.2 e to the negative 0.02t times 1 plus 12 e to the negative 0.02t to the negative 2. Now,
Why did you keep the original problem of 1 plus 12e to the negative?
you always bring that down. That comes down. That always comes down.
But you solved the derivative. Doesn't that replace that?
F of x is equal to x squared. Hold on. Go back to your original x squared. All right. How do you take the derivative of x squared?
Bring 2 up front.
2 out front, and then what? Bring that x down. Whatever you're taking the derivative of, it comes down. And then 2 minus 2, or 2 minus 1 is 1. So that x came down. This is your x right here. That's your x. It comes down. Now, the reason you do this is because of the chain rule. This is 2 terms. This is 1 term. So your basic rule, your basic power rule just covers 1 term. Your chain rule covers more than 1 term in the parentheses. So now P of, and this is time, so P of 3 is equal to, I have no idea, I don't know if I did this one or not, let me see. Yeah, I did. I got 0.1941 ... Y'all check me.
Yeah, that's right.
And now we'll do D. D, we want G prime of P. G prime of P. This one's easier. 2P, well, G of P, let me re-erase that because I got to write the problem over. G of P is 2P minus 0.001 P to the third. Now, we don't have to do the chain rule here because we got 2 separate terms. So we just do the power rule. So that's going to be G prime of P is equal to what? 2 minus 0.003 P what? Squared. And now plug and chug. You're going to plug that 0.1941 because this is prime. You're going to plug that in to here. And that's going to give you 2 minus 0.003 times 1941 squared, 1 ... squared. And I got 1.9999. Okay, question.
You solve for P of T, not D of P.
Okay.
I don't know why you're dragging 0.1941 into that equation.
Okay, the first one, this one right here, you're supposed to plug in 3. Then you're supposed to take that number, which is P, and plug it in here. Well, here, you're doing the derivative. So whatever you get here, you plug in 3, and then whatever you get for that, you plug into this one. So it's
For
kind of...
which one? DG or DP?
Okay, I think what's confusing you, so this is confusing you. This is DG over DP is confusing you, all right? You need to forget about this as a number over a number, okay? That's what you're doing. You're associating that with 2/3, okay? Don't. This right here is one block. It's one block. It's one thing. This says the derivative of G in respect to P. Okay? That's what this says. This is not a fraction. This is a symbol. All right? So quit. When you see this, think of it as a symbol. You're not plugging in numbers for these two. You're not. All right? That's why I don't like to use it. I like to use G prime. G prime of P is what I use. Okay? Because that way you don't. And then I can plug in G prime of what? What was that number? 0.1941. 0.1941. So what I would suggest you to do is when you see this, when you see this or this, you put G prime of P and then plug your number in 0.194. It goes in right here. Okay, I would, because I had the same problem you did back in the day because I didn't understand what this meant. So I started using that, and it helped me out tremendously. Okay, that's what I would suggest. Does that help?
Yeah.
Now, I got this number right here for P prime of 3. Okay, now what am I supposed to do from our original thinking? Whatever I get for this, I plug into this, right? So whatever I get for P prime of 3, what am I going to do with it? I'm going to plug it in here. And that's what I did. This is P prime of 3. So that's this number right here. So I'm going to plug it into the garbage G prime of P right here. This, remember, read the question. What does the question say? The population of a city is this. The number of garbage trucks by population is this. So, to answer your question, whatever you get for the first equation, you're going to plug into the second equation. So, whatever I got here, I plug in what? Here. And whatever I get here, I'm sorry, hold on. Whatever I get here, I plug in what? There. Does that help? Okay. Now E. Well, what do you do for E? All you do is take this guy and multiply it by this guy. We plug in 3. Yes, ma'am. I didn't get to that.
I'm sorry, I was going to backtrack, but can you write out how you got B?
How I got B?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I need to go through that because that was on that first screen that didn't record. So I'll do that right now. I got it. P of T is equal to 130 times 1 plus 12e to the negative 0.02t raised to the negative 1. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
And G of P is equal to 2p times, minus 0.001 p to the 3rd power. And in our problem that we're doing today, it's asking for the population and the number of garbage trucks according to the population for 2013. So that would mean T is equal to 3. So T would go into this, and then what you get for P, you plug into this. So P of 3, so this is A. P of 3 is equal to 130 times 1 plus 12e to the negative 0.02 times 3 raised to the negative 1 power. And that's going to be P of 3 is equal to 130 times 1 plus 12e to the negative 0.06 raised to the negative 1 power. Now, you're going to work this in your calculator all the way out. First thing you're going to do is you're going to raise e to the negative 0.06, multiply it by 12, add it to 1, and raise to the negative 1 power, and then multiply by 130. Is that what you were needing?
I asked for B.
Hmm?
I asked for B, but
B.
I guess you.
That's fine. That's fine. That gives us 10.568 ... Okay, now, again, the population and the number of garbage trucks for 2013. What is this formula? P. Well, we just found P right here. P. So we're going to take P and plug it in there. So B is going to be equal to 2, or G of P, G of 3, I'm sorry, G of
10.5.
Yeah, G of 10.5. G of 10.568 ... is equal to 2 times 10.568 ... minus 0.001 times 10.56 ... raised to the 3rd power. And when you plug that, oops, I'm sorry, made a mistake. That's inside the parentheses. There. And when you do that, that's going to give you 19.96. So, for how many millions of people? Is it millions or thousands of people in the problem? Thousands. All right. So for 11,000 people, you need how many garbage trucks? 20. That's how you do A and B. Does that help? Now, the last part I started, but I didn't finish, so I don't know exactly what to do. Let's see. Hold on. E, they ask you for, and the problem says E says D of G over D of T. Well, what I told you a while ago, to find the derivative of something, it's a product of D of G over, what was the other one? D of G over D of P times, let's see, we got to get the dP, so that'd be D of P over what?
DFT.
dt. Okay, so if you cancel those two out, what do you get? D of G over D of T. So to put it in layman's term, G prime of T is going to be G prime of P times P prime of T. Now, don't we have these? Yes. We have those. We already have them. You don't do anything but multiply them together. Mine, G prime of P, I'm looking for it. Is that the negative 130? Yeah. Negative, let me do this because I'm going to try to help y'all out as much as possible. That's G prime of P, and G prime of P, I'll put in yellow. G prime of P is negative 130, parentheses. Huh?
I thought,
G prime of
Oh, I'm
is
going
zero.
backwards.
2
I'm sorry.
minus point.
You're right, both of you are right, hold on.
That was what we.
There it
did
is.
earlier.
Is it 2 minus 3.001 P squared?
2 minus, 0.003
Yes.
p squared.
All right, times, and I'll do the other one. And it doesn't matter which one you put first, just make sure you put it right. I just put it right. And that's equal to, what I was fixing to write down. Trying to find it, there it is. Negative 130, 1 plus 12, e to the negative 0.02t to the negative 2 times negative 0.24 e to the negative 0.02t.
So that's okay.
Can you just multiply the answers that you got from that?
130.
Okay.
I was going to tell you that, but you stole my thunder. Just forget it. All right, now since we've already got 3, and you can just multiply your answer for G prime of P, or I'm sorry, P, is it T? P prime of 3, thank you. See, it's easy to get mixed up. And I will tell you, this is a tedious problem. And P prime of 3 and G of P prime of 3 and multiply them together. So that would be G prime of 3 was which one is it? I'm getting there. 0.1941 right here. 0.1941 times 1.99. And somebody, I didn't get to do it. What'd you do when you multiplied those two?
0.388.
I'm sorry, what?
0.388.
0.388. Does it keep going?
So wait, what is 1.96? That's G of,
It's this.
G of P?
G of P of 3. In other words, you take this number, 1941, plug it into this, and you got that. We did that for
Yeah.
what, C?
I'm trying to understand it in
Okay.
the non-confusing, which is very confusing. Never mind.
Is that what they got? Let me see. They got 0.323, so you better check your math. I don't
No,
know.
just make sure that's the right number.
Yeah, it is. 13. It's probably rounding. I'm not worried about that. 323 against 3.38. Huh? This is 13. That's why I said at the beginning of the problem I changed to 13 because this was 13. I'm sorry, what?
I'm saying in your method it was 13.
Somebody check the rounding and see. I don't know. You can't type in 1.99 in 1941. You have to type in both of them. The whole 10-digit number. So that's how you do it.
I'll say it's your class.
Yeah. That was a good problem. That's a good test question. I figure I could give y'all an in-class test with that, and that'll just take.
It's that one question?
No, that's Unit 2. I've already gave y'all a test on Unit 2, haven't I?
That's unit 3.
Yeah. Oh, is that Unit 3? Oh, then that'll be your in-class test. No, I'm just kidding.
One like that would be fine.
No, I'll keep it simple. All right. Now, let's go over some quotient rules that we went over the other day. Yes, ma'am?
For
we go on,
Uh-huh.
can you tell me what the answer was for D?
For B as in Bravo,
No, D is.
D as in Delta. I'm getting there. There's A, B, C, D. 1.665. That's not right, is it? Yeah. Yeah, 1.665. I did it somewhere.
Okay, and then in theory, you're able to times C and D, and that should give you D.
Yes, it should. Maybe I got the wrong numbers. Lord, I didn't do D. That's probably why. Multiply 1.665 times 0.194. I think that's it.
That's 0.32.
That's it. I skipped D. I'm sorry. I skipped D. D of G over D of P. D of G over D of P. See why it's a complicated problem. D of G over D of P is another way of writing G prime of what? P. So that means D of G over what? D of G over
Priority 1
D
message
of
coming
P.
in on secured channel.
No, that's just a derivative. I'm sorry, that's just a derivative of G in respects to P, right? That means composition. So that means is that what that means? D of G over D of P? Have to look. That means you took G prime. Well, yeah, you plugged in. Oh, there it is. Yeah. I did D. But why did I get 1.999? Hold on a second. I got my stuff mixed up.
Let's just start all the way over.
No, I covered everything. I'm sorry. There's D right there. But why did I get 1.999? I think I might have.
Is it
Oh, that's right.
Well, the answer on their thing says 1.665. So
It was 2p minus 0.001 p cubed, right?
no, the derivative is 2 minus 0.003 p squared.
Yeah. P being 3, correct?
Yep. P is 3. That's why it's 1.665. My bad.
So you plug in.
You plug in 3 for P on D. God, plug in 3. So let me go back and show you what I'm talking about. Back here, right here. Well, I thought I did plug in 3 right there. Well,
No, we plugged in point.
okay, no, you plug in 3. And that will be 1.66. Is it 1.665? Somebody check me. 1.665. So I made a mistake there. No wonder people fail this class. On D,
Yeah.
this is D right here. Let me go back.
Which is 2 minus 1.
Here's D right here.
Yeah.
This is supposed to be right here. Take this out. And that's supposed to be 3.
Why is it supposed to be?
Because it's asking for P. I mean, you plug in 3. You plug in P. P is 3 at 3 at 2013 or whatever. That's what you're supposed to plug in, and you get what? 1.665, and that was why we had a difference of 1.665.
I just plugged that in and it's not.
I got 1.973.
That's what I
Yeah.
got.
Okay, so you still get the same answer. So I don't know where they're getting. I don't know where they're getting the. We got 0.38 and they got point what? I'm trying to find it. For E, we got 0.38 and they got 0.323 versus 0.323. What did you get when you originally did the problem?
0.38.
So yours came out 0.382.
I know what it is. You plug in P3, so it's 10.568 that you plug into there. And then you get 1.664 for your answer.
Okay, so for D, instead of 0.194, you plug in 10 point what?
568, which you got in.
568. Okay. And that'll give you 1.665?
Mhm.
Okay, my bad. 1.665. And that'll give you 0.323.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That was not a good problem.
It's one of those L problems.
Huh?
It's one of those L problems.
Yeah, it's it's a Larson problem. This sucks. And you know what's so bad about it? The book, when you hit read this on it takes you to
The beginning of the chapter.
yeah, and
Yeah.
it doesn't even tell you. This book sucks.
Yeah.
All right, we've done said that. All right, let's go to a couple of problems in your new homework. I'm just going to pull up a couple. Let me go there. Well, I can't go there. It won't let me. There we go. What's the new homework? 3.5?
A Gmail has just arrived.
Nope. Don't want to do that either. There we go. All right, let's try. I want to do a quotient rule. All right, let's start off with something simple like this one. I don't know if we did this one yesterday or not, did we?
I think we did.
We did? All right, well, let's do this one. There's a lot of engineering calculuses if we don't do a problem like that. That problem was rough.
I know.
It's too much in one problem.
Can you also look over the previous chapter 3? Because I was doing all of chapter 3 yesterday,
Mhm.
and like even though we went over the rules for the derivatives, like on logarithm and stuff, they kind of combined them all. So I was
That's
like,
why
what do I do?
the product rule.
Okay.
That's why, see, they're putting,
That's why I didn't know what to do.
yeah, and that's why immediately the next day I went to the product and the quotient rule.
Okay.
That's why, because in the book they put the questions before the concept. Now you can do this one two ways. You can do it with the product rule, and you can do it with the quotient rule. So I would suggest you try to do it both ways. See what you are. Try to start it. Alright. So if you did it by the product rule, you would bring this up and you get, I'm going to put the product rule right here. That'd be e to the x times 1 plus x to the negative what? To the 1 plow. Y'all know what it is. Okay? So that would be first times the derivative of the second plus the second times the derivative of the first. I'll do that one for you. So e to the x times negative 1, 1 plus x to the negative 2 times, what's the derivative of what's inside? 1 plus 1 plus x to the negative 1 times e to the x. And that's going to give us e to the x minus 1 over 1 plus x quantity squared plus e to the x over 1 plus x to the first power. You could get a common denominator of 1 plus x quantity squared, but that's about all you're going to get. Now do it by the quotient rule. When we do it by the quotient rule, that's going to be denominator times numerator prime minus the numerator times the denominator prime all over the denominator, all over 1 plus x quantity what? Squared. And there's where you see the common denominator. And distribute this, you're going to get e to the x plus x e to the x. Oh, I'm sorry. Well, yeah, e to the x, yeah. Minus e to the x minus e to the x times x over 1 plus x quantity squared. It looks like those x e to the x is canceled, don't they?
No, you didn't take the derivative of the second part.
Oh, I did. Thank you. That's, I went ahead and distributed it. Sorry. Okay, that's going to be e to the x times 1, which is e to the x. Right?
Yeah.
So the e to the x is canceled. And that's going to be x e to the x over 1 plus x quantity squared. This thing was right. Okay, I got to give it time.
You can leave that or solve it.
That's it.
1 plus x squared, you don't continue? It's like
You
x
can.
squared plus 2x plus 1.
Well, you can, but
So you don't?
They didn't.
No, none of the homeworks will actually
Yeah.
have you do
I
that.
did that and I was like, oh, I didn't do that.
you don't have to. I mean, I wouldn't mark it wrong if you did it on the test. Doesn't matter. Now, if you did this, that would give you e to the x times 1 plus x squared over 1 plus x squared minus 1 over 1 plus x squared plus e to the x times 1 plus x over 1 plus x quantity squared. And I think you'll see that this e to the x plus e to the x squared, e to the x plus x e to the x, you'll start to see it'll cancel and you're left with this. Both of them will give you this answer. But you see that the product rule is probably going to be a whole lot what? Longer than the other rule. Okay? Than the quotient. All right, let's do another one. I have to delete this, I'm sorry.
Have we went over the reciprocal rule yet? It was on those rules you had us making.
Well, I told you to mark through it. Evidently, you didn't mark through it.
Nope.
Evidently, you didn't listen. All right.
That one's 10.
Which one?
10.
10?
Yeah.
Dang old FOIL. Rewrite. Why you rewrite? What's there to rewrite? Well, 1 over y to the second. What's that? A fraction. I told you, fractions and radicals, you need to rewrite. You didn't listen either, Miss Brown.
I just didn't get I would just go all in and I wouldn't get the right answer. So
Well, I probably won't either. No, I'm just kidding. Let's go with y to the negative 2 minus 7y to the negative 4th multiplied by y to the first plus 9y to the what? And that is the FOIL method. And you have to remember your exponential laws. What do you do when you multiply same bases? You add the what? Exponents. So that's going to be y to the negative 2 plus 1 plus y to the negative 2 times 9y to the third. I'm writing everything out. That's outside. Inside minus.
Wait, why is it -2 and not -1? Oh, it's -2. I'm sorry. Never mind.
That's all right. Minus. That's supposed to be a plus. Minus 7y to the negative 4 times y to the first. And then the last is negative 7y to the negative 4 times 9y to the third. All right, what's negative 2 plus 1? Negative 1. Plus 9y. What's negative 2 plus 3? 1 to the first. Minus 7y. What's negative 4 plus 1? Negative 3. And negative 63. What's negative 4 plus 3? Okay, so you can combine those negative ones. What's 1y to the negative 1 minus 63y to the negative 1?
Negative 62.
Negative 62?
Yeah.
Yeah. Negative 62 y to the negative 1 plus 9y to the first minus 7y to the negative 3. And now you can take the derivative. And when you take the derivative, you're going to get the 62y to the negative 2 plus 9 minus the plus 21y to the negative 4. So that's going to be, I'm going to put the answer at the top. That's going to give you 62 over y squared plus 9 plus 21 over y to the 4th. That should be your answer.
Wait, is that 21 y to the negative 4?
Yeah.
To the negative 4?
steps.
Now, I did put a couple of steps in there that you could probably skip. So, and that's what you would do with 11 also. Or just quit. Okay, probably good that I didn't cover anything new today.